As you can see, it is dawn, and what they say, pink sky in the morning, shepherd's warning. Probably going to be crappy weather here, but we are leaving this airport very soon, so it won't matter too much at all. We are in the A321neo with the LEAP engines today, so this thing has really crappy climbing performance. Not sure if it's meant to be like that in real life or if it's just the modelling in the sim, but we will jump in and persevere and get our asses up to cruise altitude regardless. So just a quick flight. It should be under an hour. I think roughly 49 to 55 minutes, according to the flight planning data. The weather, as you can see, it's not the greatest. Probably will encounter some winds, maybe some rain once we're up in the air. Melbourne is not reporting any rain at all. They just have broken cloud, but they have a crosswind going across the runway that we're landing on. Hopefully that turns and becomes more of a headwind as we arrive into Victoria this morning. But let's get into the aircraft, onto the flight deck and underway. So I've already set the aircraft up, of course. And let's look at some weather for Adelaide before we leave. So according to the Metar data, we are going to have a 9-knot crosswind. There are two runways at Adelaide. The A321 can only take off from one because the other one is just a little baby 1600 metre runway. The main runway is, I think it's 2500, maybe 2800 metres. So decent length to take off an A321 from. A few broken clouds. Go into Melbourne. Let's see, it's the same. They've got they've got drizzle, so we'll be coming into wet weather into Melbourne. I forget what runway I have chosen. Runway 16 or 16. So we'll have almost a slight crosswind, more of a headwind as we come in. Hopefully that doesn't change too much on our way down. I just realised that background music's still playing. Let's get rid of that. That is better. So this is the first official scheduled stream for this channel. There is another one up on the channel that says test stream. That was from yesterday when I first set everything up. Well, I haven't had everything set up for a while, but that was the first one where I sort of was able to stream and had issues with USB ports. So my capture card was cutting in and out, but I have been up quite late last night and I think I've solved the issue by using a different USB port. So far the capture card seems to be holding strong. Let's just hope the sim does the same thing and doesn't crash the desktop. Anyway, let's get this bird fired up and in the air. So I've already gone ahead and programmed everything in. Obviously I'm on Xbox, so I use the built-in flight planning tool. So everything is all popular. I'm just going to drop my microphone just a little bit. So everything is all ready to go. So you see we've got a distance of 370 nautical miles. And it's not too many waypoints between Adelaide and Melbourne on this trip. So it's pretty much a direct flight to Melbourne. There's not too many deviations along the way. We will have a flight level of 330 today, so 33,000 feet. And we are coming in on ILS 16 into Melbourne. I was actually kind of hoping the runway that I was using was an RNAV approach because I haven't done an RNAV approach in ages, and I'm just a little bit different to ILS, just a little, it seems to be a little less lazy, even though ILS is a brilliant landing system. So let's get this beast turned on, then we'll push back and start. I already have requested IFR clearance for that one today. Also had a weird glitch yesterday when I was doing some practice runs where the lights will turn themselves on and off. I think it's the Turtlebeach that's causing it. I updated the firmware to get the system information panel working, and for some reason mid-flight my parking brake will come on, my nav lights and beacon will turn off, and the strobe will go on to full on as opposed to auto. So I'll just keep an eye on that today. Thankfully it's not the throttles that are affected. I've had that before where the throttles just click back to zero mid-flight for no reason. So I'll just keep an eye on that, hoping it doesn't do it. Anyway, speaking of lights, we'll get the nav lights on. The beacon's coming on, strobes on to auto. We'll get these batteries on, and we'll start the APU master switch. Wait for that to warm up. Fuel today, you've got just a little over 6 tonne on board, which is plenty to get us to Melbourne, and do a go around, maybe go to a diversion airport if required. The Turtlebeach is flashing fuel low because it is below 25% fuel, so it is going to flash throughout the entire flight. I'm going to ignore it. I'm probably going to put some black tape over the fuel low warning light because it's come up for every single flight that I've ever done. Just a bit of a pain. I might actually start the APU, otherwise we are not going anywhere. I'm just going to unroll the, I've just unrolled the landing lights as well for now. I don't know what the procedure is for start up, I just sort of make it up as I go along. Well, so we are in a weird, so when I spawned in here, so right across on top of all that ground equipment there, and then to connect the jetway, it come round to the right hand side of the aircraft. So I moved over to this side, and a tug has appeared to push us back, which is great. But nothing seems to line up at this airport, which is a bit of a pain. Of course, if I had the handcrafted airport, it would probably be better, but I can't seem to load those in Xbox. They crash to desktop. Anyway, so our APU has started up. We'll get the seatbelt sign on. APU bleed can come on, and we'll get the external power off. We will disconnect the jetway, and it just sprung straight back. Okay, that's disappointing. No real life animation there, but we will get the tug in place. So he's going to come all the way up to the front. While we're waiting on them, we will get the fuel pumps on, and we'll change the ignition, sorry, turn on the ignition starter switch for now. We'll get that parking brake off now also. Wow, that sun is really, really showing its far out. That looks amazing. What is this tug doing? Dude, just turn to the right, come forward and go back. You're going to smash my front gear. What are you doing? There go my tyres. And the front strut. Sorry folks, flight is cancelled. The tug driver has taken out the front landing gear and caused millions of dollars worth of damage. This is possibly the longest time I've waited for a pushback to start. Any second now. Currently we have the 3 main domestic airlines represented in this shot. Jetstar on the front, Qantas centre up the centre of the screen, and Virgin up on the right. Yay! Oh, look at that. To a 270-degree reverse turn. And she still failed. Any second now. Any moment. Come on, man. I could have fired up the engines, put on reverse thrust and backed out already. See my lights just came on? Yeah, that is definitely an error. I wasn't imagining things. And I bet, yeah, see there's the speed brake's armed as well. Ah, I better not do this through the flight. That's so annoying. Oh, and my parking brake came on that I turned off. Far out. You definitely saw me turn my parking brake off. Turtlebeach, what are you doing? Your firmware update is breaking the sim. Anyway, we're going to push back tail to the left, nose to the right. So we'll probably make our turn about now and we'll get engine number 2 started. Can I start engine number 2? Nothing else turned off. APU bleed is on, as is APU, pumps, ignition was on start. We've got N2 rolling up, so you know we are fine. Now this A321 with the LEAP engines actually sounds better than the Pratt & Whitney model. The Pratt & Whitney model in this from this developer sounds more like the standard A320 that comes with the game. Oh, way off the line. Doesn't really matter. Whoops. You saw nothing. We can get that parking brake back on. Probably going to turn itself off later anyway. And I'm going to put on the old AI radio comms, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay, engine number 2 is up to power. We'll get engine number 1. We should get our hydraulics pressurizing any second now. There it goes. Okay, so I'm going to set my flaps and speed brake now. So flaps to 1. My lights just did the same, did that thing again. No, they didn't. I thought I heard them click. Flaps to 1, speed brake can be armed. We've got our taxi line there, but I'm going to ignore it. And I'm going to go straight ahead. So I'm actually going to turn the taxi line off. We don't require that. And thank God we are taking off away from the sun because it is coming in hot. Okay, we are all powered up, ready to go. So both engines should be up to just under 20%. Taxi light on. We probably should turn that bloody parking brake off again. And let's go. So a bit of power up to over 40. Oh, I didn't quite get there. So the 21neo, I like to power up to over 40% for the initial taxi. Otherwise, it takes ages to get up to speed. And then drop it right back to about 33-ish. Come on, get down there. We should sit center in the to the yoke. There we go. You can see Adelaide City out my main window on the right hand side, but we won't be flying over that today. Actually have quite a nice approach into this airport right over Adelaide City. It's oh shit. My right rudder just decided to not work and then kick in. There is a takeoff. If I took off the opposite way to what we are, you'd fly right by Adelaide City. It's quite a nice view. And then coming in on approach that way. Actually, today's approach will be quite nice. You come right beside Adelaide City, which is just up in there. And it's the city itself is has been handcrafted. The airport hasn't for some reason, but the city has. So it's that will come with those world updates. Come with the Australia World Update. Quite a nice addition. Right, so this should give us straight out takeoff clearance. And 30. Oh, my QNH is wrong. I think I've set that to Melbourne actually, not to Adelaide. Go 30.45. Wind 132 at 9. What is Metar saying? Metar is saying 150 at 9. Where is 132? Oh yes, it is more of a headwind in the game than in real life, which is good. So I'll try not to tip the aircraft over as we take off. VR is 174. Well, it's 171. Probably should check that before we roll out onto the runway. Drop that power a bit. Probably started making that turn just a little early. It's all good. So while we're finishing that tuning, the landing lights turned on. So on the very top right of the screen, you'll see that switch go up. Everything else is set, so nose down just a little bit, and then we'll power up to, oh, not on takeoff view. Power up to about 50%, there we go. And then all the way up to flex. Where is it? There it is. See, it sounds much nicer than the Pratt & Whitney. I like it. This sounds more like the Bredic 3D, the A320. Passing 100, release the nose, try not to tip off the runway. 130, 150, and yet we are tipping. Airborne, wow, that was not the greatest takeoff. Positive rate, gear coming up. We can almost lose that flap, which we will. But I'll just dip the nose a little bit so we don't stall. Go leave it into climb. Lose the speed brake, and we will actually get the autopilot on. It's probably going to tip us to the right, I think. Oh, it's not. I thought it was going to adjust us to the right before it turns left. That, I'm just going to turn the game sound down a bit. It's a little bit loud. Yeah, that should be a little bit better. Oh, we might actually go over the city. I thought we were going to turn before it. Oh, that Virgin took off straight after us. Even if we could see even if we were flying over the city, we couldn't see it because of the low-level cloud. That's okay. Yeah, we definitely can't see the city through that. Okay, we'll see if ATC is saying anything to us. They should be. 3045 and 10,000 was our transition altitude. Two, 3 is 0, and we'll get some landing lights off since we're above 10,000. Everything else is still on, as it should be. And watch this climb performance drop. So at the moment we're climbing at 1,600 feet per minute. So it just absolutely dips as soon as you go over 10,000 feet because we're climbing up to 320 knots. It struggles all the way up. Might get up again to about 2,400 feet, but then it starts to drop again once you reach flight level 180. It's yeah, the climb performance of this model was just not the greatest compared to the other one in the series with the Pratt & Whitney engines, but it does sound better. So give it that. Yes, it's up to 2,800 feet per minute climb, but that'll just taper off. It might prove me wrong, but it's what it has done when I've flown this aircraft previously. Just going to double check that, so our parking brake light hasn't come back on, so that's a good sign. Those lights are all still holding fine, and the speed brake hasn't armed itself again. So Jetstar actually does have an A321neo, just the one in its fleet now, got delivered only a few weeks ago on a island hopping trip from, I want to say, did it come from Toulouse? Might have come from Hamburg. I can't remember where final assembly for the A321neo is. I thought Toulouse, but I could be wrong. Anyway, so they have got it in their fleet. I'm pretty sure it's an LR. That's another aircraft. Where are you going? You're going into... Oh, Jetstar, it's company. Hello. You must be going into Adelaide. Oh, no. Crossing our path. Oh, you could be. Oh, of course you will be. You're going up and around and down. Yeah, so it was delivered a couple of weeks ago, maybe more, to the Jetstar in Melbourne, which is obviously where we're flying to now. Actually, I probably should keep an eye on some instruments. We're over 18, flight level 180, so we'll get the QNH back down to standard. What was our next call out to? It was flight level 230, so wait for that, and then I'll check ATC again. What was I saying? The A321neo. And I think they've got it in domestic. I think they're flying it domestically at the moment, but they did purchase the 21 Neos for their medium international routes into Asia from Australia. So we will see a few more of those added to the fleet, and of course then Qantas will start getting their XLRs, their 21 XLRs within the next, I think within the next 12 months even. So that is their fleet replacement program, where they are replacing their Boeing narrow bodies with Airbus progressively over the next 3 years. So I think by 2025 their Boeing fleet, their Boeing 737 fleet will have been cycled out and replaced with Airbus narrow bodies, which is a fairly big move by Qantas, but sort of saw the writing on the wall with that one. They already have A330, 200 and 300 in their fleet, of course. They're one of the A380 customers with 10 of those remaining in their fleet, and I think most of them back in operation post-COVID. And also they've ordered, or they have signed a letter of intent for the A350-1000s for their Project Sunrise, where they'll be flying direct from the East Coast cities in Australia to New York and London with no stopovers. That's the aircraft they've selected. So I'm not surprised at all that Qantas went for the A320 family to replace their narrowbody. Not to mention Jetstar, which is whom we are flying now, is a wholly owned subsidiary of Qantas. Now, I've just noticed my park brake light has come on. So we'll turn that off. So we are still having that malfunction where all the lights are messing up. So my beacon's gone off this time, but my nav light and strobe have stayed on as they should, but my landing lights have all come on. Wow. And the spoiler has armed itself. Okay, we're going to have that error all the way to Melbourne, I think. I think I am due to clear my downloaded data in this sim, which I hate doing because it takes hours to reinstall everything. Then I've got to go back through and reinstall all my views, my cockpit views, external views, etc. Absolute pain in the ass. But if you are an Xbox user and you're getting nothing but crash to desktop, that's what you've got to do. You've got to delete all your downloaded data and start and let it sync up again. Oh, so we have passed flight level 230. Is it telling us to go right up to 330? It is, yeah. So telling us to climb to final cruise level. And you'll see that, yeah, the climb has dropped. So at 1,300 feet per minute climb, we should be doing closer to 2,000 feet per minute climb, going off the Pratt & Whitney. I think once we hit Mach altitude, which is 26,300 feet, we'll start losing knot speed, and so hopefully it lifts the nose up just a little bit, but it won't by March. .1,100 feet climb, that's so slow. Will we even reach 330 before we have to start making a descent again? We've gone to mark speed, so we probably, yeah, see that's just started to push itself up a little bit, so we will get a bit more of a climb towards the end, up to cruise level. Unfortunately, it's only flight level 330. Flight level 370 is quite a marathon to get up to in this 21 Neo. Just going to see if there's anyone else around. Oh, there's someone behind it. That'll be that Virgin Australia following us. Where are you, little man? Oh no, you're up there. Maybe it wasn't. Actually, that Virgin aircraft was a, I think it was a single engine prop, so maybe they're not following us. 3,000 feet to go until we're at cruise. This has taken way too long. I wish I'd actually started the chronometer so I know how... I haven't ever timed how long it takes to get up to cruise in this aircraft. Probably should do that. I just know it definitely takes a lot longer. We haven't been flying for 56 minutes according to the chronometer on the game dashboard because I spawned in a good 20 minutes before we started. And then mucked around talking for 5 or so minutes before we actually took off. I suppose I could work it out from there. 30 minutes, we'll say. But I keep forgetting to press start on the Turtlebeach Velocity 1 has its own chronometer on its display screen here, and I keep forgetting to press start. I set the clock okay, but I forget to press start on the stopwatch. It's meant to have an auto feature, but I don't think it works with Xbox. I think it only works with PC. I suppose I could just go back and replay the stream and check the time from there. I'd never thought of that. Go, 1,000 feet to go, and we made it before top of descent, which is great. Thank God for that. Those engines are really loud. Okay, we're going to get the seatbelts off. I just about pressed something then. Seatbelts can come off. Just double check everything else is all good. That's all lined up nicely. Those thrust levers are not. Come on. That's better. Everything else looks good as we cruise east towards Melbourne. So it's a pretty basic flight. Oh, we're definitely being followed. Can we see them? They might be too far away. Oh, we can. Oh no, we could see them before too. I don't know if they're going to come on the same. I don't know if they're going to come on the same vectors. So it's pretty straight flight. Straight across and then down into Melbourne, and straight in on runway 16. There's no turns or anything apart from. Where are you? Apart from, yeah, that one at Arby, slight bend at Tunka, oh, and Apple. But yeah, very, very direct. And we've burnt just over a ton of fuel already. Plenty to get us there. So this fuel low warning blinking light, you can actually see it in the webcam. See it flashing on and on. I am definitely going to put some black tape over the back of... actually, should I do that now? I wonder if it will work. No, I'll leave it. I'll get used to it. I can just, even if I'm looking at my monitor, I can just see it and it's annoying me. Oh well. Right, well I'm going to just go to the little pilot's room 5 minutes. Maybe not that long. But I will be right back. Don't go too far. And hopefully the lights and the speed brakes don't all arm themselves while I'm away, but I'll be back real soon. And I'm back. Not that you can tell, because I've still got the B-right back on. There we go. Looks like the parking brake and the lights didn't activate themselves, which is brilliant. Hopefully it stays like that for the remainder of the flight. We're just about down to 160, 170 miles away, so like I said, this is a very short flight. Probably, possibly, either this or Melbourne to Sydney. I think they're the two shortest capital city to capital city flights in Australia. If those of you don't know much about this country, well, for a start, I'm not even from here. I'm actually a New Zealander living in Australia, one of many thousand. So we have our mainland, I think, is roughly 1,000 square kilometres smaller than the mainland of the USA. So obviously not including Alaska, Hawaii, and all the other islands and territories that the US has. And we have 26, maybe 28 million people living here. So the population density is one of the lowest, if not the lowest in the world, mostly because the land that extends out that way, out to the north, is desert and you can't live in it. Or it's sacred Indigenous Australian land. And so it's all preserved, which is, you wouldn't want to live out in the desert anyway. It is, they call it the outback. It's very deadly. Oops, didn't have my webcam on, sorry. We can actually change our oh, look at that. Oh, what runway are we coming on? We're coming on 16. Oh, it's only 5 knots. It's okay. So it's a direct crosswind. I'll bring that up bigger. So it's a direct crosswind landing. Today we're coming in from 16, so we're coming in from the top off that runway diagram. So just about from the north, and but it's only 5 knot wind. That should be fine. Broken cloud or broken ceiling at 3,000 feet. It's not too bad. Not the greatest at crosswind landing, mostly because my rudder pedals are triggers on the yoke where I'm pointing at here, on the Turtlebeach. But I did see something exciting. So I heard rumour that Turtlebeach were designing foot pedals to go with the velocity. When I did the update to get the system information panel lights working yesterday, I found in the settings on the yoke that there is a rudder pedal menu option. There's nothing in it yet, but the menu option is there. So I'm assuming, this is just my guess, so velocity comes with quite a long USB-C to USB-A or USB 3.0A cable, really long, like longer than you actually would need. I think it's about, might be 3 meters long. Which is really, really good for setup. So my Xbox can sit all the way above my iPad. This can sit here and the cable can go all the way around under these monitor risers, which I have my monitor sitting up on. So it keeps the cables all nice and tidy. But I thought, why is the cable so long? I am guessing that the rudder pedals, the cable will run up and plug into the side here where this cable is, and then this cable will connect into the rudder pedals for it to all connect up as one unit. So I guessed that early on when I first got the Velocity. Went, oh, there's the cable's long for a reason. And then I heard from. I was chatting to Air Force Proud. I think it's David, is it, on Air Force Proud 95? Just in comments on one of his videos when he was promoting the Velocity one, and mentioned the rudder pedals. And I said it's a pain because you. While you're steering on the ground using your rudders for steering, because we don't have a steering mechanism otherwise, like they do in the real aircraft, you have to take your hand off your, if you're taking a corner to the right, you've got to take your hand off to access the quadrant. And he said, I've heard there are rudder pedals coming, so ever since then I've been quite excited and cannot wait to get them. So I was a bit sneaky and I went onto the Canadian Turtlebeach website because it's the only one I could find where you could put your email address in to get updates. So I've popped my email address into there. It is a .com.au email address, but hopefully I still get the updates. Hopefully it's automated and people aren't actually monitoring regions of where email addresses are from, because I just want to get them from day one. I got the Velocity 1 on day one as well when it was released in Australia, so I did a pre-order. I think I ordered it 6 weeks before it came out. And then it actually turned up 2 days earlier than expected, which is brilliant, because it's really, really difficult to fly in the flight sim using the Xbox controller. I do not recommend it at all. If you have got an Xbox and you want to get into flight sim, get yourself a Yoke. The Velocity 1, they're cheap. They're not cheaply made, they are good quality, but they are definitely the cheapest solution because you get everything all in one. I think if you're going to go for it's not honeycomb, is it honeycomb? I think it is. If you go for the honeycomb system, you've got to buy that has a very, very nice quadrant though. The quad is amazing, and you can configure it for both Boeing and Airbus airliners, which is nice. And it also has the trim wheel as well. Not that I use the trim wheel because it's all auto in the Airbus, but it does come with it. But you've got to buy the quad, the yoke, and the rudder pedals, and then you've got to buy a hub to connect them all together so you can use them on Xbox. So you're looking, within the vicinity of around 1,500 to 2,000 Australian dollars to buy all that. Very, very expensive. The Turtlebeach this year was under $500. I think I can't remember what I paid. I think it was under 400 even. It has gone up in price since. So I got lucky. I'm pretty sure I paid 390 Australian dollars for this. Might have been 490. Either way, it was under $500. So very, very happy with it. And of course, we've got the prop plane controls, the throttle prop and mix, which I've never ever used. I've not jumped straight into airliners on this game. I never flew a Cessna. So, but they're there if you need them. I've got them, they're bound to nothing on the profile that I'm using. They can probably hold my phone, but no, I don't want to put extra weight on them. So I'm eagerly awaiting the Turtlebeach rudder pedals. So we're below 120 miles away from our destination, so we should, probably within the next 10 or so miles, we will drop our power down, I think to around 242 knots. We'll remain in max speed, but we'll drop us down to 242, I should imagine. And then we will start to make our descent down into Melbourne. I am just going to check ATC. Oh, I thought it was going to descend us. So no, it's still saying to continue as planned, flight level 330. There we go, there's our speed down, 242 as predicted. Just check who else is around, if anyone. We're still being followed by someone. They have gotten closer. We're just slowing down as well. Let's check ATC. I might just leave ATC window on because I don't want to miss our instruction to descend. And we will do a quick Meta update. Has that changed? No change. Last update 27 minutes ago. Just as an FYI too, that there is reading from my actual iPad using a little clever app called Lonely Screen. Really, really handy. I didn't actually know you could do it because I have PC, not Mac. I didn't know you could AirPlay to a PC at all, but of course it's amazing what you can find when you do a bit of Google searching. It's a free app as well, and connects nicely to OBS Studio. Actually, it connects to Streamlabs as well. You can use it on anything that you can broadcast a window in. Okay, so we've just been told to descend and maintain flight level 250. So I'm just going to let the computer take us down until we're below 80 miles away, see what altitude we're at, and then adjust it from there. I've noticed my view has shifted. That there used to be in, so my vertical speed knob used to be in the full view of this aircraft, and it's not for some reason. Maybe it's the Pratt & Whitney that it's in full view. I can fix that if I just go like that, and then drop it up just a, no, that's too much. So if I go like that, and then go Control-Alt-1, will that keep it there? Close enough. So again, rule of three, so 30,000 feet we want to be 90 miles away. Looks like we're tracking in about right for that. Also got to remember that Melbourne has a 434 foot elevation as well, so we've got 434 feet to play with also. I'll just double check that the hasn't thrown on the lights all around in weird ways. No, didn't arm the speed brake. Cool. Looks like that has settled for now. Okay, I'm going to reduce our descent to 1,800 feet per minute down. Oh, that threw the nose up. Ah, I pressed the wrong button, that's why. Shit. Whoopsie. I hit the emergency level out mode. Just a different click of a mouse button. So 80 miles away, we wanted to be about 26,000 feet, which we have pretty much successfully done. Definitely happy with the altitude and the for the distance we are. So that Velocity 206, that's the Virgin Australia. I think that's the one behind us. Or was. Where have you gone? Oh, no, you still are. Where are you? Can no longer see you. Anyway, they've been given instruction to descend and maintain 3300. But they've been told to drop their speed to 185 knots. So we will get a decent head run on them. Which is good because I don't really want to do any go-arounds. Actually, let's just check traffic in Melbourne while we're here. There's a little bit of traffic around there. Oh, there's a bit around. Where'd you all go? Where'd y'all go? Oh, there's one going. There's one on approach. Oh, it's not too bad. Something else in front of us. This route is popular this morning. Going to get rid of ATC while we're descending. It's annoying me. So just keeping it on minus 1800 feet per minute down until we reach 60 miles away. Then I'll reevaluate. Of course, with that arc and the turns, it is a little more. It's probably about 3 to 5 miles more than 60 when it does reach that point, if that makes sense. What was that? I never actually checked out ETAs. ETA 2216, it's currently 2204. So probably about another 15 or so minutes. MXD, I don't know who you are. MXD. I don't know that, Melindo, oh, okay. Melindo is an Indonesian airline owned by Lion Air. They do fly into the Australian capital cities. In fact, Lion Air themselves only fly into Perth, I think. And everyone else gets Melindo. I think Melindo might be their international airline, even though Lion Air do complete international flights. I don't think you're doing 185 knots. You are catching up to us. Where are you? Can we see you yet? No, not showing up. Interesting. Anyway, below 20,000, I'm going to put the seatbelt signs on now. Itch my finger. And I'm going to set our QNH now as well, which is 3042. According to Meta, we'll see what the updates are along the way. Wind still hasn't changed, still 260 at 5. So it'll be a 5-knot wind blowing on the right side of the aircraft, pushing the nose, well, pushing the nose to the right, I should say. I was going to say to the left. Let's check ATC, are you saying anything more? No, just traffic in sight, still down to 17. I'll leave that open until we're down below 17,000 feet. And there we go, straight down to final approach altitude. Going to keep it at minus 1,800 feet per minute. Seems to be a... actually, I might do minus 2,000. Oops, that's the wrong way. For a couple of miles. Just to get us down a little bit lower, because I do have to do so I do have to slow down in 2 stages. I mean, we are actually tracking in fine because we should be at 15,000 feet, 45 miles away. We are currently at 50 and 16,000 feet. It looks like our final approach is about 15 miles in length. So 5 miles before our turn, we will put out the first notch of flaps. Did I unmute? Oh, I did. I didn't. I thought my microphone was on mute, and for a split second there, I was thinking, I wonder how long it was on mute, but it's not. It's fine. It's all fine. So 40 miles away, we want to be at 13,000. So that was a good idea to drop that descent down to 2,000 feet per minute, even though it's doing 2,100. So I'm going to pop that back up to minus 1,800. Let's see if it's given us a QNH yet. What? Oh, I'm not climbing 10,000. Maybe given us a QNH? No, you have not. We'll check back at 10,000. So I can't even afford to move that to 1,500 feet down. Still no QNH. 3042 seems to be about right, according to Meta though. Is there a refresh? Still no update, 5 knots, 26085. But because we're close to 10,000 feet, this gets the landing lights on. Oh, and that approach is not 15 miles. I got that completely wrong. It's 30. Excellent. Okay, so it's slowing us down to 230. I'll go further and go down to 215 knots at 30 miles away, and then 200 knots at 25 miles away to get us in preparation for setting the flaps. And I might as well arm the spoilers before I forget. And have we got a QNH yet? Oh. Traffic is at 5 o'clock. Well, if you are not doing 185 knots, you've caught up to me. That was the Virgin that was in Adelaide. I thought they were just a little single engine prop. Okay, so let's get our speed down to 215. But on my way to see the Virgin. Okay, so 25 away. We're going to drop down to 200 knots. I'm going to put that in auto descend as well. Are a little lower than we need to be, but that's fine. I'd rather be lower than too high. Looks like a beautiful day here in Melbourne. It was meant to be... Oh, there's showers in the vicinity. I think there was drizzle before. Have we got a QNH yet? 3039, so we weren't far off. Hang on, descending 4,000. You told me 3,000. I am going to change that to 1,200 feet down and 20 miles away. So I'm going to put out our first notch off flaps. Now I don't know what, I have no idea what the procedure is for flaps, but I do 20 for flaps 1, 15 for flaps 2, and then flaps 3 at 2,500 feet, flaps 4 at my own discretion on final approach. Gear down during flap 3, so gear down at about 2,000 feet. That just seems to work quite nicely. Sort of worked it out. I work in Brisbane City, and have a lot of airliners go over the city, obviously, to get to the airport, and I can see them put their gear down as they come over the city, and I sort of worked out, so when I did a flight, I tried to follow the same flight path as what the commercial aircraft would take, and worked out where about my gear would go down, and it was, yeah, roughly 2,000 feet above sea level. But I mean, I could be wrong. It could depend on the airport. I don't know. I say sea level too, because Brisbane Airport is 6 feet above sea level. Okay, is it giving us another... Yep. I've been told to keep speed not above 185. Well, I'm going to put on the ILS now, drop flaps down to 3. I'm going to keep us at 4,000 feet. I can't see what it actually said in ATC. Is that diamond going to move? Oh, it's getting further away. Oh, line up, you bastard. Okay, we'll hit locator now anyway. I'm going to drop down to 3,500. Okay, no, I'm not. I'm going to hit approach. Go around altitude will be 5,500 for today. I'm going to ignore that because we're not at 2,500, we're just over some hills. But we are 10 miles away. Where'd our Virgin friend go? Where have you gone? Not below us? No? Huh. They have disappeared off radar. I'm going to put flaps to 3 now though. We might drop the gear because our runway is coming up on us quite rapidly. Set the auto brake to medium. Can't set it to max on landing. In this or the A320, I can do low and medium, leave it on medium. Can set it to max for takeoff in case there's a an RTO, but it doesn't turn itself off once you've gotten in the air, which is kind of weird. We'll go flaps to full. Probably should have done that some time ago. As we come down to 1,000 feet away. And I can hear the outer marker as well. I think that's the outer marker. 1,000. There's 1,000. How's our wind going? What did they tell us? What did they say? We got clearance to land yet? Fly the aircraft on the runway. 258 at 5, 260 at 5. Okay, yeah, so it's pretty accurate. We're going to have a crosswind coming from the right side of the aircraft. I'm just going to check that Virgin isn't still around. Oh, there you are. No, it's someone else. Yeah, no, Mr. Oh, shit. My God, my frame rate just dropped to 0. I'm going to take manual control and lift the nose because we're just coming in a little too low. Spoilers were around, weren't they? Yeah, we are all good to land. Let's see if we do this without fucking it up. Oh, we're way too high. I'm gonna have to dive a little bit, I think. Ugh. All the passengers just lost their stomachs. Already have. 5. Come on, get down there. Don't lift up. Thank you. Oh. I thought I would have lined up for centre line on the touchdown, but it went the other way. Not displeased with that landing. It was a bit off to the right side and a bit of roll, but no, I'm not going up to there. I'm going to go out this one, dude. Okay, we'll just tidy things up while we let's get our taxi clearance. Just going to slow down here a bit. I'll go ground, and I want to request taxi to gates, which way we are going to go. Okay, up to there. So we'll get rid of that. Let's do some stuff up in here. So we'll get the retract the landing lights. We'll turn the strobe all the way off. We'll turn off constraints. Don't need flight director. Don't need landing system. Don't need terrain. This can go down to 29902. And I better slow down a bit. We're going a little too quick. And I probably should get the APU actually started. Okay. Oh. Thought the game was about to crash. Is that JAL? FAL? Oh, it's not a call sign. It's a gamer tag. I don't know where the Virgin Australia flight went. Air France again. Everywhere I've gone in Australia this weekend, Air France has been there. Oh, did we almost line that up perfectly? Why are we slowing down? Do we go up a hill? Did I put on too much brake? Yeah, you just stand right where my engines are, dude. It's all good. That's close enough. Oops, sort of blinding the all the ground staff with my taxi lights. And we didn't get the jetway to automatically connect. Where are you? Are you menu option 9? Yes, you are. There it is. Yes, shut up. That's us done. Welcome to Melbourne. Oh, the jetway actually even connected to the aircraft. So it looks like it could be end up being a sunny day in Melbourne. Beautiful. So it was a fairly decent landing. Can't say I'm disappointed with it, but not the greatest, of course. But thank you very much for joining me on the flight, even if you're watching this in post-stream. And maybe one day we'll see you on a live stream. So coming up on our next live stream, we have got... we're flying from Chicago O'Hare to JFK in the Delta A321neo again. So that's coming up. Dates on the front there. So it's the 9th of September, 10:30 Universal time, or 5:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time. So it probably will be dark when we're leaving Chicago, and we'll arrive in a sunrise in JFK. So if you're in Australia, that is 8:30 p.m. this coming Thursday. If you're anywhere else, well, 10:30 Universal Time or 5:30 a.m. Central Daylight Time. It's about an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 40-minute flight. And it's not the LEAP engine 21, it is the Pratt & Whitney, so it has amazing climb performance, and we'll get up to cruise pretty quick. So that already is up on the schedule. I'll be adding a few more flights to the live stream schedule as well. So if you want to watch any of these, hit that subscribe button, and you will get, and the notification button, and you'll get notified when I do go live. I try to start my live streams about 15 minutes prior to the actual start time and have a countdown. And we were running about 3 minutes late this morning. But that's because it was 7 o'clock in the morning. Well, no, it was 6 o'clock in the morning when I got out of bed to start the stream at 7. I was running just a little bit later than I had liked. But I'm happy that the technology didn't fail me today, apart from those landing lights coming on and the speed brake arming itself, but the capture card held up, which I'm very, very happy about. I'm glad that I worked out the glitches. I think I've sorted my sound problem, so my background music should be dropping down while I'm talking and should be able to hardly ever hear it, and if I stop talking, it comes back up in volume. So I think I've got it all sorted. Yeah, hope to see you in the chat in future streams, or even if you do play Microsoft Flight Sim, spawn into the airports that I'm flying from and fly alongside if you want. If you do spawn in, I'm not going to predetermine my flight routes because I fly with live weather and live time, and so I work out the route just before the flight to try and get the best vectors into the best runway. Of course, that does change during flight, but that's fine. So I can give you the waypoints that I'm flying in the chat just before we take off if you would prefer. Otherwise, just hand fly beside me if you really feel like it. Pretty much only flying aircraft in the A320 family, so A320neo and A321neo at the moment. Because I'm on Xbox, we don't have a lot of choice. The 747-8, which Asobo created, is a piece of shit, as is the Cessna Citation. It's just crap. I did buy the Embraer 190-195, absolute waste of money, also a piece of shit. But I am hanging for the Airbus A310 that is coming out from, is it Any Flight? That could be wrong. I think it's Any Flight, in conjunction with Microsoft, and that's free for everyone coming in November. So we definitely will be flying the A310. Looks like it is going to be a mixed glass and gauge flight deck, so it's sort of the more modernized freighter version. So it'd be interesting to fly. I think they're calling it study level. Of course, that term is used very, very loosely in the game. I don't think you can have a study level aircraft for Xbox users. There has to be some level of automation because not all the systems will work with the controllers that we have, even though I've got the velocity. There's some things that can't be integrated. So it'll be interesting to see how that flies. And of course, I'm still hanging for the PMDG 737 NG series to come to the marketplace for Xbox also. And again, that will be sort of reduced down. It won't be... I can hear a jet bridge moving. It's not mine. That was really loud. There was just a jet bridge in my ear. That will be below study level for Xbox, but I will still purchase it and fly it, even if it's $80 US. So that is, we've got that to watch out for as we build the fleet. Of course, feel free to come and watch our future streams. Again, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the air very soon.